So with all this Captain Marvel stuff going on, where people are supposedly just trolling the internet, saying the movie is bad because its um, primary character, its hero, is a feminist, or because the primary character is a woman, or whatever, just all that, just sweeping that aside. It's kind of the premise. It jogged my memory for something. Um, that if you don't know what CinemaSins is, go find out what CinemaSins is first of all. Um, I don't know if you would say it's satire or if it's um, comedy or what you'd necessarily like. If it's a parody, maybe commentary, whatever the folder, the kind of cubbyhole it belongs into. Just amazing is what it is, because it points out all the things that are cliche and everything that just kind of drive movies along. But one of my favorite things about it is it kind of ruins good characters, and it at times will also it'll kind of point out some of the points that a villain might make. So it has the ability to kind of spin things it makes you think about movies. Well, with all this stuff going on about Captain Marvel, brought feminism back into our collective consciousness again, which is something I have talked about before, but it made me think, it reminded me, I guess, of in CinemaSins during their thing on Frozen. There's the just absolute brain-destroying earworm of a song, and at the very end of it, you have the doors close with the final resound of the song and everything, and it pauses, and the commentator goes, so is she the villain now, or is she just empowered now? And it's something that's kind of stuck with me about at least the modern, kind of most recent iteration of feminism, is the line between what is supposedly empowering women and in actual, like, just destructive to our society level evil is very narrow, it seems. Wherein you have where feminism fighting for the right to murder children, not just abortion. I'm talking like post-birth infanticide, where the governor of Virginia is like, you know what, after the child is born, we can have a conversation about whether or not it gets to live. It's absurd, and this is like, it would seem on its surface of like, who would argue for that? Who would think that this is a right? And yet, that has been consistently the position that feminism has held. The right to kill human beings, to destroy human lives. Because even in the premise of what we're talking about with Frozen, she finally is feeling like the freedom to participate or to use her powers however she wants. Libertarian-esque, anarcho-libertarian-esque expression of her individuality. And it nearly murders everyone in her town because of the unending cold and winter that she's brought on the place. She's able to create life and does literally nothing with it. It's like just a throwaway joke in the movie. She's able to, like, it's something that, like, in any other context, the crossbowman Hans, who they go out into the thing to kill her in her castle, they would be the heroes because her death would likely signal the end of this unrelenting winter that they've been subjected to. So it's just something that I'm kind of musing or whatever about, is when it's that level of nuance, I guess you could say, necessary, where you just have to have a really good PR, I guess, department in order to spin the character of Elsa into being a heroine in any way, despite the clear path of destruction that she leaves through the film, and the level of just ignorant naivete of her sister. And yet this is what's considered to be like a herald of, or kind of a marquee moment of feminism in today's society. I kind of wonder of it, is it a reasonable topic of discussion whether or not feminism is evil in and of itself? And now let me diffuse some of the, I guess, primary disagreeing arguments that somebody might make. First off, that feminism either created or championed women's rights, or that it gave women the right to vote, it gave women the right to be drafted into the selective service now, gave women like various things. My first question to you is that just because a cause does one or even multiple things that benefit either a small society or a collective society, does that utilitarian achievement make it objectively good? And I would say no, because of the fact that you can point towards any socialized government and point to that, for a short period of time, financial success and prosperity was achievable within it. It's just not long-term success, because eventually the greed catches up with it. That just because something achieves one, like for instance, the same rocket technology that put man on the moon is the same rocket technology that plunged the world into 3 decades of Cold War through the intercontinental ballistic missiles that we were so afraid of. The same rocket technology that has put satellites in orbit, or the same military technology that has given us the ability to check in to places on Foursquare or on Google Maps or whatever, to be able to find places without knowing where they are in advance, is the same technology that's used to guide those missiles that could destroy us all. Just because something is able to do one thing or multiple things that are good does not mean that it is inherently good. It doesn't make it objectively good. It just makes it useful. So, I don't know. That's the question though. Is feminism just evil? And because evil people, evil means, evil mechanisms, evil thing, like they can do positive, even short-term or even accomplish long-term good. Either by accident or even on purpose in order to achieve an ulterior goal. So, I don't know. It's something to think about. It's something to talk about. On the converse, we want to is feminism good? Because I think it's something that, as far as a core value for our society, it's something that we do need to wrestle with. Because nothing should be off limits from that kind of criticism. So, I don't know. Something to think about.